I would argue we don't take risks in mountain rescue. I think we mitigate it. I think we do a lot of training. We've got a lot of good gear. We're sensible about our decision making and all the rest of it. Probably the one time when it starts to get a bit iffy is in winter if there's a high avalanche risk around. Now, we work really closely with Scottish Avalanche Information Service. They're based at our base in the winter for our area, and they do daily reports on the avalanche conditions. So we'll be talking to them saying, right, well, what is it actually like? Now, in Scotland, most of the time, there will be a certain aspect, a certain slope, maybe west facing or something like that, that's got a high avalanche risk. Now, because it's always windy in Scotland, or usually windy in Scotland, it means the opposite side, like the east side, is probably scrubbed clear. So you know you can go up the east side, get to your point, wherever they are, and take them back down the east side. We're not just wandering up the hills onto slopes, which we think are difficult. In addition to that, we train for avalanches. We carry avalanche receivers from November through to May on our, everyone's got one on the team. You're not allowed out on the hill if you don't have yours. And, if somebody was avalanched, then the rest of the team will be able to find them within a few minutes if their transceiver was switched on.
On avalanches, if I go out in the mountains without any prior knowledge, what can I do to protect myself from being caught in an avalanche?
I think, you want to make sure that you're looking at the weather forecasts. So you are taking heedance of what the weather's like, what it's going to be doing, if it's going to change, look at the avalanche reports, and then you will hopefully be able to go up the better side of the hill. If you're going up there with absolutely no experience or knowledge about it, then you're definitely taking a risk because you're almost oblivious to the risk that might be there.
Where can I find an avalanche report?
Yeah, well, you can, if you just go onto Google and type in Scottish Avalanche Information Service or a variation on that, then they will appear for the areas that they do them in. So there's about 5 areas that they do reports for in Scotland. Obviously, that's only running from like mid-December through to mid-April, I think it normally is. But they're done on a daily basis.
So if let's just say I did check that and I've gone out walking and I unfortunately find myself in an avalanche, what can I do to survive that?
If you're actually in the avalanche, you've got to, I better watch my language here actually, you've really got to fight for your life because that's exactly what you're doing. If you're being avalanched down a hill, that is your last chance. You've got to really push, fight, get to the surface as much as you can. And in the last few seconds, try and put your hand across your face because that will create an air pocket. Yeah, where hopefully you'll be able to breathe for a while until one of your mates who hopefully didn't get avalanched and saw it all happening, saw your last point of entry and is going to start digging for you. There's something called companion rescue in avalanches, which is really, really important. Okay, so you need to have an avalanche transceiver. It doesn't matter if you're a walker or a skier or mountain rescuer. Avalanche transceiver switched on and you're wearing it on your body. You've got a shovel in your rucksack and a probe. So with those things, someone's going to be able to hopefully find you, and you're going to be able to dig out your mates. And you are responsible for digging out your mate, if you like. That's where the whole companion rescue comes in, because after half an hour, the survival chances have greatly diminished in an avalanche. So calling a mountain rescue team is great, but we're not going to be there within half an hour unless we happen to have been training in the area or out on ourselves. But the people with you will be there within that first critical half an hour. So you want to make sure that they know what they're doing and they've got the good shovel, so they can dig you out if necessary. Now that all sounds a bit grim, but being caught in an avalanche is, it's a really bad thing.
I'm amazed that it's even half an hour, because the panic as well must take over very quickly.
Yeah.
When you're caught. I mean, you're solidified in snow. Yeah,
and you're absolutely right, because I think a lot of people maybe imagine avalanche as being this big white fluffy thing that you see sometimes in the Alps on the telly and all that sort of stuff. Scottish avalanches are really wet because we've got a very maritime climate, so there's a lot of water in the actual snowpack. So that is really heavy. It's going to hurt you. It's going to break bones and all the rest of it. And when it comes to a halt, it actually kind of sets a little bit like concrete if there's a high water content. So it's really hard to push your way through that. In fact, if you're trapped in that sort of stuff, you're not going to be able to dig your way out. You're going to need somebody else to dig you out, probably.
What sort of specialist equipment would the mountain rescue team use to find someone in an avalanche?
The best thing we can use is a dog. Okay, a well-trained search dog is better than any electronic piece of kit or anything like that. They are amazing. If we can get a dog in there quickly, they're your best chance of being found alive. Now, I'm assuming that you haven't got an avalanche transceiver on, because most people don't wear them. But if you had an avalanche transceiver, we would be looking for that first. But we know that most people don't bother. therefore we want to get a dog up there. So if we've got a helicopter coming into the landing site, then the dog is on the first stick, as it were. We need to get a dog up there.
That's amazing. Dogs never cease to amaze me.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
This is out with my expert field, but I think collies are quite popular.
So reliable.
We've got a collie and we've got a Belgian Malamute in the team just now. The Malamute is a big dog, but it's a great dog. In fact, the pair of them are amazing, and it's really good to work with them in training because they are so quick.
What are they? Are they using their sense of smell to find somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a sense of smell, and so they're part of something called Search and Rescue Dog Association Scotland. So they train a lot, more than we do actually, because the dog has to be current and has to be, motivated and excited about the whole thing. So it's a big commitment for them.
I think that's amazing. They're going out in the snow. They're going to find someone in an avalanche, and they're going to get a biscuit for it. Yeah. Probably
and they're delighted when they get a biscuit. It's
the
the best day of their lives. They've got a biscuit.